catching the eels only happens during the winter months, raising them is a full-time job that goes year-long. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're here because this is the place where the baby eels are being collected, and they're just preparing the ponds that will raise them to a larger size. Standing next to me is Chairman Yang. He is a legend in raising eels in Taiwan. He's been doing this for 50 years. 今天晚上最重要的工作是什么？
今天抓起来就是要选大、中、小，大的、中的要运到云林县去养大鳗，小的放在这边。
为什么这个工作已经在晚上做的？
因为这个小鳗。白天抓会震到土里面去，太阳还没有出来抓完，里面就没有苗了。
There's about 200,000 eels in these ponds here, and that's from the first group of eels that came in Taiwan. This is groundwater. 那个水的温度是大概多少？
它28度，你试试看是咸的，有一点盐的。
对啊 the water's a little bit salty. It's brackish, but not very. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. What we have happening now are two important parts of the procedure. They're sorting the eels, and the first part of sorting them is to put them in the different compartments so that they can be raised in different places depending on their size. But the other important part of what's happening now is to determine the weight of each size of eel so that they can be sold. In other words, it's too difficult to count them at this stage on, so they will figure out how many are in 1 kilo for the small eels, how many are 1 kilo for the medium eels, how many are 1 kilo for the large eels, and that way when they sell them, they'll be able to just do it by weight instead of by counting them. So this yellow box here is the computer. And inside of this box, you will see this kind of mesh here. This is the brain of the computer, this grate here. And this grate sits at the bottom of the box there. And when they pour the water onto it with the eels on it, the small eels will slide through. And they will use different ones to grade them. But today, they're grading 3 types of grades. And you'll see when they push the water through, the eels will come through. And then they'll go into 2 different departments there. And that's how they sort them. You can hear them munching away. The eels love it. They feed the eels once a day at around 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're fed a combination of fish meal, fish oil, and other vitamins that they mix up into this brown batch, and then they put it in there. The eels are already conditioned that when they hear the machine running, they come closer, so they're already expecting and anticipating their meal. If they need to raise them more quickly, if there's an order to get them quicker, faster, they will even feed them twice a day, I'm told. It's almost 12 o'clock noon, and we're at the end of a long day that started at 2 o'clock in the morning with Donggang and his crew. If you recall, this morning we sorted the eels into 3 different groups: small, medium, large. The small ones were brought over to the holding tank over there for further rearing, and the other 2 are here, and they're now preparing for the final step of the trip, which is to go to central Taiwan to grow to a larger size. The bag has ice in it, and the ice will help the eels go to sleep, help them relax. They're also putting in some oxygen to keep them alive for the trip. This truck, or kind of school bus as you could call it, is going to go to Yunling. Let's wish the baby eels a good trip and a good life for the next 10 months or 8 months as they grow bigger and are finally sold on to the end users.